Amber Heard's attorneys rested their case in Johnny Depp's defamation trial against her. And now Depp's team could be calling a rebuttal witness today. Let's take a live look inside the courtroom in Fairfax County, Virginia. You see some of the attorneys right there approaching the bench, talking with the judge. Joining me now, criminal defense attorney Sara Azari. Thanks so much for being with us this morning. So what happens from here now that we know Heard's legal team has rested its case? What's next?
Well, I think there might be some motions, Cheyenne, to dismiss the countersuit. The Depp could make that motion, and then we're going to go right into the ball being back in Depp's court with the rebuttal case, and that's where Kate Moss is going to testify. But I just want to point out something that yesterday was so incredibly bad for Heard's case. You know, we typically put our best witnesses first and last. She put a doctor, a psychiatrist who was a hired gun, on the stand to end her case. And I had never seen this jury in 20 days of testimony be so engaged, frustrated, and annoyed with a witness out of dozens of people who testified. You know, he was unethical. He had never examined or evaluated Depp, and yet he testified that, you know, he at some point had said he's an idiot without administering an IQ test. He had opined based on movie roles that he had had, saying that he fits the profile of an abuser. So it was a terrible way to end her case and extremely anticlimactic.
Yeah, and you're not the only legal analyst that's been on air talking about that as well. You mentioned Kate Moss, right? Johnny Depp's ex-girlfriend, supermodel. So we are expected to hear from her as a rebuttal witness. So Amber Heard discussed her name in a situation on the stand. I want to take a listen to this and get your take on it.
See my little sister with her back her back to the staircase, and Johnny swings at her, and I don't even wait for any other, I don't hesitate, I don't wait, I just in my head instantly think of Kate Moss and the stairs, and I swung at him.
Okay, so Amber Heard, brings her name up into this, right? But yet she would be Kate Moss, a rebuttal witness. What do we expect to hear in her testimony?
Yeah, Cheyenne, so that was such a bad move. You know, you never testify about a fact that you are not 100% sure of. Here, this is a rumor stemmed from a Rolling Stones interview in 1998. And so what I expect is that Kate Moss is going to take the stand. She's going to clear this up. She's going to say they had a peaceful relationship, that this never happened, maybe explain why this rumor even started in the first place. But this was a terrible thing that Heard did, because had she not opened the door, Kate Moss would not have been a witness. She wouldn't be relevant. And so that is, you know, as much as this is a celebrity trial and there is that celebrity headliner that is associated with Kate Moss, this jury is going to have to put that aside and focus on the testimony and how that might refute the story of self-defense or defense of others that Heard testified to when she hit Johnny Depp.
And Sarah, we know Heard's legal team decided not to bring Johnny Depp back to the stand as a witness on Monday because he was on the list indeed. What do you think prompted that change, and was it the right decision?
You know, it's really hard to read the tea leaves and know exactly what motivated that, but we typically, put everybody in the kitchen sink as a witness in case we need them, and then ultimately not everybody's going to get called. Here, this is the plaintiff. He controls the defense, not vice versa. So it would be a huge mistake to put him on the stand again, especially when you only have like 8 hours left in your case. You know, he would be someone who would probably completely refute what Heard's case was all about, and it's not helpful to them. I think they have hurt their case enough, and this was sort of cutting their losses.
All right, Sara Azari, thank you so much for your legal expertise this morning. We appreciate it.